got this. All right, my family. Last year I told you I was freaking Don Quixote and I was out on this noble quest to end classism, and we didn't quite get there. But we didn't quite get there, but we made a tremendous difference in the lives of our most vulnerable students. 83 of you were crazy enough to join with me and answer by opening your wallet and donating. And together, I'll tell you what, last night we had 27 kids that ended up going to grad night because of your contribution. So I'm going to share some stories of success, and then hopefully you'll be so inspired. Everybody will sign up. The day before winter break, okay, also another great day. All right. Mr. Steinhauser comes into my room, our superintendent, and he said, "Hey, I need to see you outside." And I said, "Oh, yeah." You know, when you advocate, sometimes you get spanked a little bit. So I was like, "Oh." He said, "I heard what you're doing at Wilson High School, and I think it's wonderful, and I want to help." And I was like, "Okay." And he said, I want to pay through district money for the monthly bus passes you've been buying for these students to get to school." And at this point, then I'm kind of fooling myself, so I said, "Oh, he doesn't understand." So I said, "Well, Mr. Steinhauser, we help 28 kids times $40 a piece." And he said, "Well, how about we help 80 of your kids on this campus?" I'm like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh." And I started shaking. And I was like, "Oh, what?" And he said, "Can you find kids who need help? More than the 28 you've done?" I said, "Yeah, we could do that." And so, just for example, last month, 76 kids were given monthly bus passes that was not paid for our funds, because Long Beach Unified said, with Mr. Steiner, he said, "This is so important." He said, "I want to invest in 500 bus passes and eventually spend $20,000 a month on helping kids throughout all of Long Beach Unified get to school." And so $20,000, $200,000, because we started this. Just because of in fact, all 84, everybody who helped contribute, okay, just kind of go like this so I can kind of look at you and just feel good. Kumbaya. All right, here we go. And so I was fired up, right? All right, so anyway. And by the way, you're welcome, Holly. You're welcome, Milliken. You're welcome, Jordan. You're welcome, Beach. You're welcome, Renaissance. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, on my way to the staff party, I was already going to dance till, so I was grooving. And so as I was walking, my man Derek Jones comes over to me and he said, "You know, I'm from a real tough background." And I said, "That's a freaking understatement," because I know him pretty well. We're brothers, right? And so I said, "I got a call from a homegirl that I grew up with, and she said Wilson High School saved Christmas for her." Yeah! I was like, "Get the hell out of here!" Yeah! I said, "Hey, the Grinch saved Christmas. They made a movie, right?" And so I was like, "This is great." And so I said, "No." He goes, "Ted, you gotta let me talk." Her whole life has been rough, and now her daughter's life has been rough. And she came home with all the presents that were provided through your funds for her to give presents. And she said, she told Derek, "I had already told my whole family there was going to be nobody getting a single gift this year." And my daughter came home and supplied gifts for everybody in our family. And Wilson High School saved Christmas. And I'll never forget what Long Beach Unified did for my daughter. I forgot to tell you. So during Christmas break, Mr. Steinhauser told me, he said, "Listen, we're going to pay for your bill, but you have to promise to do something good with all the money that you're not spending on Long Beach Transit." I'm like, "I got this. Let's spend." So I called Aaron Fayshard during the winter break. We got together for a couple hours, and I said, "What are some of the things that cost money that we can make a huge difference on?" She said, "Well, let's start with a formal." I said, "All right." She said, "Usually, we can scholarship a few kids to the formal." I said, "Okay, let's buy 30 tickets, $1,800. Boom. Did that, we came back, and the week after Christmas break, we get a hold of 30 kids, and we give them tickets to the formal. And Ms. Delphine comes up later on, and she tells the counselor, she says to Mr. Clardy, she said, I saw these two girls, and they were crying out there. So I went up to them, and I said, Pumpkin, what's going on? And she said, oh, Miss Delphine, these are tears of happiness. Usually we cry because we go through so much. But Mr. Clardy called us in and said a teacher recommended us because some teachers saw greatness in us and they want us to go to the formal together. And so we're gonna go to our first formal. And so now I'm on fire. I'm like, 30 tickets. I said, Miss Fraser, how many kids do you help go to the prom? She said, we usually help between 7 and 12. I said, let's go for 60. It's only $85 a piece. We're not paying for Long Beach Transit. Let's go. Let's help some kids. She says, all right. She said, you need to get help then because we're going to call in 30 kids all at once, and we're going to be like Oprah. You're going to the prom, and you're going to the prom, right? We're going to channel our inner Oprah. And I was like fired up because I love Oprah, right? And so I'm like, okay, let's go, right? And so we do this, boom, 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 and all of a sudden, and I'm happy, and we're jumping around, and we're having a dance party in there, right? And so it's going on. And so I'm like, yeah, and they're like, Mr. Hollister, I don't even know you and you're dancing with me. I said, I don't know you either. Here we go. And so all of a sudden, Miss Jorda, she takes some kids outside, and everybody's happy. I'm like, why are they sad? And so it turns out that these kids had thrown away their form to go to the prom that was given to them, their invitation. She said, why did you do that? And these poor kids told her, they said, it was never a reality we were going to go to the prom. We didn't think we needed it. We never felt like this was part of what we do. So they had just thrown it out. So Miss Jorda, she's like, we can get you a new form. They're like, so we can still go to the prom even though we threw out our form? She's like, hell yeah, in fact, we'll pay for your date too. And they're like, okay, right? And so we're like, you're going to the prom, right? And so we get this going. So finally, Mr. Clardy says, we're gonna recognize everybody that serves in the cafeteria. All of those cats give up every single one of their lunches to serve their community, and they're invisible. And they're all in frickin' need because nobody works on their lunchtime when they don't have to. If so, boy, Tal would be all over that, right? so anyway. All right, so Mr. Clardy goes down there and he gets all the seniors and he's like, you're going to the prom and you're going to the prom, and they're fired up, right? And everybody's happy. And so we leave and there's a promposal going outside. And one of the girls who, like the day before, we told her she was going to the prom, she's like, my girlfriend said yes and we're going to the prom. And I was so excited. On the way back, Mr. Coleman said, Ted, I need your help now. He said, you gave a ticket to a kid from the faculty, and the person he promposaled in my classroom, by the way, in special ed, we don't get any promposals, so it was a big deal. He said, but the person that he promposaled is in worse shape than he is, and we need help. And we're like, we got you, Scott. And so those are some of my stories. I hope I moved you to want to be a part of what we're doing. And I told Mr. Steinhauser last night before the graduation, he said, how's it going? I told him some of our success stories. I said, can I announce that you're gonna continue with supporting our students next year? He goes, heck yeah. He goes, you can tell him. He said, all those students, you're gonna get those bus passes again. Please sign up. If you don't know your employee ID number, that's okay. And well, yeah. No, if you did it last year, you're good. No, you're good for life. Yeah. Oh, I didn't